Good morning and welcome to Member Focus Monday. I'm Christina Schaefer, Director of Social Media for HAR, and we're very excited this morning to welcome Teresa Grobecker. She is the CEO of Real Estate Consortia, which she's going to tell us all about today. Welcome to the program, Teresa.
Thank you so much for having me, and good morning, everybody. Happy Monday.
Thank you. And Teresa is actually joining us from the West Coast, so it might be early here in Houston, but it is very early over in California. So thank you again for joining us this early Monday morning. If we could start, Teresa, just tell us, so our members are aware of who you are and what you do. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. So I started the first online real estate brokerage in San Francisco over a decade ago before COVID was cool. Along the way, I put all of American real estate on my own private patent pending blockchain. And what that means is back in 2018, I filed for the patent that has anything to do with blockchain, real estate, or non-fungible tokens. Excuse me, it was really an offensive move against China or Russia, which were ahead of us or were or are in the space of crypto and blockchain. So it was really just a gift to the industry. Was shoved in front of Bob Goldberg, and Bob was like, "You're ours," and I was like, "I made it for the industry, cool." So became part of the NAR portfolio of companies. I now run 3 NAR portfolio companies, and Consortia has really picked up a lot of traction in the last 6 months from the head general counsels, head legal people, from secondary markets and capital markets, as well as real estate. So thrilled to be here talking to you guys about, I think, kind of the fact versus fiction in blockchain and in the crypto spaces.
Absolutely, because I think a lot of the terms, and we're going to have you define some terms here in a second, but I think a lot of the terms that you just named, specifically to realtors, might be more of buzzwords. We hear these words, we don't fully understand what they mean, but I know that more people are starting to ask about them, and I see headlines. So we're so happy to have you here to help define all of this and help us understand how this can benefit the real estate industry. But let's get right into it. So let's get some definitions going. What is cryptocurrency? What classifies as cryptocurrency?
Yes, totally. So cryptocurrency is digital assets that have a store of value, and they can be exchanged in exchange for something. So the only 2 right now that are or were classified as currencies were Bitcoin and Ethereum. And that happened in, I think it was either October or November of last year. The IRS finally categorized them as currencies. However, in the last 2 weeks, the US government has said that these are actually commodities. So I feel like we just went back into the Bible and we're trading 10 goats for a piece of land. Because you think about commodities. So the government is still trying to figure out what is a cryptocurrency. In the technical nerd space, cryptocurrency has been used to power certain engines. So if a blockchain protocol is powered by, say, Ethereum was used as the form of currency to move data on that system. So in its rawest form, that's what cryptocurrency was used for.
Okay, very good. So you put in another word there that some people might not be familiar with, and that is blockchain. So what is blockchain?
So blockchain, and I like to boil this down as simply as I can, and I think that's what got your attention when we met at T360, right? When I was on stage. Blockchain is nothing more than a spreadsheet. Full stop. It is a spreadsheet. Everyone here has used a spreadsheet. Okay, cool. So it is a place where we go and record an event. I bought this piece of pizza with blockchain from Christina. It goes into a blockchain ledger. That's it. So that's what blockchain is. Now it has permissions that are built into it. That is the core infrastructure of the technology of blockchain. So if you've ever created a spreadsheet and then shared it with your business partner, shared it with your spouse, your partner, maybe a client, right, on a permissions basis. And then sometimes you turn on the permissions to edit. Somebody has admin privileges. Some people just view. That's what blockchain is. It's a ledger. Way less scary, right, guys? If we just say it's a ledger. No big deal. It's a ledger.
Yeah, very good. So there were some major headlines last night. I'm already seeing some comments and questions coming in. So if you have questions for Teresa, please type those in. I see Dan says, how can this benefit the future of the real estate industry, which we're going to get to a little bit later. So thank you for that question, Dan. So there were some major headlines last night as of yesterday, right? So can you tell us what happened with Celsius?
Yes. So without going too much in the weeds here, Celsius is a cryptocurrency. It's a crypto, right? It's not commonly used for buying pizza or Ferraris or cars. Like, let's just keep it there. But it's a protocol online, and they just stopped withdrawals. So if you had purchased Celsius and you held it in your wallet and you wanted to go and sell it, all withdrawals of the crypto stopped last night. And that spiraled, and it caused all cryptos to hit the fan last night. And actually the opposite, everything crashed. Bitcoin, as I checked it, 10 minutes ago while we were getting ready, was trading at $23,000. So everything has fallen below its floor. And this has a huge ripple effect in the crypto markets.
Okay, very good. And I'm sure if anyone missed that or needs to read a little more thoroughly into that, you can go do some Googling there and figure out a little bit more. But I think many people believe that these cryptocurrencies or digital currencies that they're a fad, right? Do you see the world as progressing in a direction where more digital currencies are going to be common, or maybe even more common than paper money?
Yes, so great question. So I've been an international speaker on the topic of digital securities since 2018. I was an equity partner at a global investment bank. And because of that position that I had, I now advise family offices. So family offices are offices with typically $25 million to $50 million minimum net worth, up to several billion. And the category of family offices that I advise now are the billion-dollar families. And what this is, and this was in The Economist 30 years ago. In The Economist, which is owned by the Rothschild family, let's be clear. So if you put $1 into the banking system, 50 cents of it will make its way to a Rothschild company. Like, it is what it is, right? These are smart. These are pocketbooks and mines that are way bigger than ours. So it was prophesized that there would be a single currency, and it would be digital. And this was 30 years to the date when ICOs were launched. So all of these ICOs are a testing ground for what we know is coming, which is FedCoin. The federal government has already announced that they're investigating this space. And about a month and a half ago, they announced that they would be drilling down into stable coins to figure out which ones are actually stable. And it's if you look at the ledgers, it's easy to prove that it was an inside job to crash one of the stable coins. And it really proved the weakness. The point here being is where the federal government is drilling down on what is actually stable, what is actually pegged to the US dollar. What I know is in creation right now, they're making Fed coin exchanges because every single major government in the world is creating a Fed coin of their own right now. Here's the idea, is that they're sucking out all the dirty money into crypto. They're going to let that all crash, as we're seeing literally in the last few weeks. I own Bitcoin, okay? So this is personally like it's hard to digest this even for myself. I own Bitcoin and I own Ethereum. So I realize what's happening, and I'm just going to probably write a huge tax loss for this year. That's fine, because I understand what's happening. So all the dirty money is getting sucked out into crypto, and then there will be a Fed coin that's announced. And we can already see it because Bitcoin and all the cryptocurrencies are becoming categorized as commodities, right? We don't buy houses with sheep and goats anymore. So you can tell the direction that this is going, that a lot of this stuff is going to really just go away, and there will be one single currency. So the way that I see that, and I know what's coming next. So in 2018, while Jamie Dimon, the CEO of his bank, right, of Chase, he was on the news saying he hates crypto. Meanwhile, little Teresa is just applying for a bank account. I'm like, I got this little company. It's got an idea. It's called Consortia. I need a bank account. And so because of my connection through the investment bank, they're like, oh, you can get a bank account at Chase, which was really hard to do because every major bank was like, we think all blockchain is crypto. And they didn't want to be associated with dirty money. This was really hard to get a bank account then. even our CTO was our co-founder was the former CTO of Silicon Valley Bank, which is one of the hugest banks in Silicon Valley. And we couldn't even get a bank account there. So it was really remarkable. We got a bank account at Chase. So I'm just filling out the paperwork and I get this phone call and they're like, we want to put you on the phone with the Treasury Department of Chase Bank. And I'm like, oh, this is probably just part of getting a bank. No, that's not what that was. They were trying to figure out how to move money through blockchain. And that's exactly the direction that this is going. Consortia is building into it. We created tokens for every practitioner because every practitioner is key. We're creating tokens that your clients and you can go claim for all the properties that you've sold, all the people and properties you have relationships with. Now, what eventually happens is several lenders have come to us. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac have been trying to figure this out for 4 years. So this has their attention as well. And we work with them on many different aspects of Consortia to be able to move the money, which will be digital currency, right? The Fed coin, stable coin, right through Consortia so that we can fund our loans faster and create a better customer experience. Because I still practice. It is still a nightmare. Oh, did the wire go out? Is it 1 o'clock Pacific time? No, the wire didn't go out. Wait, it's Friday afternoon. Can we still record? I don't know if we can record. Can the client move into the house this weekend? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to have a house for the next week. Oh my God, is that not the worst experience for customers ever? And in this age where we're supposed to be able to settle money instantly between parties, and we're still talking about these wire cutoffs and going to the county reporters. So the purpose here is to sell more houses faster.
Wonderful. Great. So I want to get into a few questions that have come in from our members that are tuned in. Michelle, let's just tackle this one first. Michelle said, explain dirty money.
Okay, this is good. And sometimes I get ahead of myself on the terms. So the Financial Crimes Division of the U.S. Treasury, they have a protocol, and it was released a more robust fashion after 9/11. It's called the Patriot Act, as we all know. It changed how we go through airports. It changes how we set up bank accounts. Any kind of financial instrument has to go through what's called AML, which is anti-money laundering, and it's called Know Your Customer. Now, as real estate practitioners, we have never had to deal in this space. And this has always blown my mind because after business school, I went right into Wall Street. And then I started my online brokerage as a hobby. I had a kid on each hip and I was like, oh, this is a fun little project. Here we are today. So it always blew my mind that in real estate, we're moving huge sums of money. And as practitioners, we've never had to have this conversation about AML and KYC. Well, guess what? The banks always took care of it for us. The banks, they took care of the AML KYC. And then the escrow companies took care of what's called good funds laws. So every single state has its own rules about good funds. What we as practitioners now have to know as customers, and we're trying to figure out how do we accept crypto for real estate. And I was able to move unlimited amounts of crypto in 2018 into real estate. I was the first broker in California to do this. And I have like a tier 4 level compliance to move this amount of money. So then I started advising in January of this year, the largest title company in the United States, and I told them how to write their policy for AML, KYC, and good funds transfer taxes for the entire United States. This is what we as practitioners now have to be aware of because we're trying to quarterback and be the linchpin right in the middle of the sale. This is our value. So if we have a client who's coming to us and they're saying, I'm going to buy this house with crypto, or I have a crypto down payment, or I want to get a crypto mortgage, it is critical that we understand AML, KYC because I don't want any of my friends going to jail. And this is serious stuff because a lot of this money is dirty. Some of it's clean, good American people, good people all over the world, they've put their money in crypto. The other side of it is it's been untraceable for so many years, there's dirty money out there. So in our training, the consortia is releasing in 2 days, we go through all of the steps to make sure you stay out of jail. AML, KYC protocols. Because now, if you're quarterbacking that deal, you've got to tell your client, and you've got to, it's almost like getting a pre-approval letter, right? The pre-approval letter shows that that client is able to buy the house. In the same fashion, we have to make sure when somebody comes to us and say, I have crypto in my wallet, we have to make sure that that money is clean. And there's a process for doing that so that you don't waste your time with somebody who can't really move that money out of crypto into real estate.
Okay. Very good. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the training that you mentioned. We'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end. So if this is interesting to you guys that are tuned in this morning, there is a lot more that you can learn after this session is over as well. So we've got a couple questions coming in as well. I saw a Bitcoin ATM machine in a gas station this weekend. What exactly are you receiving if you use the ATM for a withdrawal or to purchase Bitcoin?
This is really interesting. I see them all the time as well. And I don't own that company. I don't know the logistics of how that works. I'm not sure if you're putting in your credit card and you're converting cash into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not a tangible asset. It's not like you're going to get a coin back. So all of this is digital. I don't quite honestly know. I think a lot of it is hype. Yeah. A lot of these Bitcoin, like they are making a lot in the transaction exchange fees in these processes. You can do all of this on your computer. I have no idea why they invested in physical machines. If you want, and I would say just based on sheer economics, right? The cost of the real estate, I'm like looking at a quarter in my house as if like a Bitcoin machine could fit there. But like the fact of like making that machine, delivering it, servicing it, I would beg to say that you could probably get a better price on Bitcoin if you wanted to buy it or any cryptocurrency, and just please do your homework before you buy anything, even though everything is like way lower today than it was yesterday or even 6 months ago. But you could probably get a better price from a Coinbase or some other kind of exchange through your regular computer.
Okay, very good. We have a question here from Connie. I noticed the stock value of cryptocurrency has also dropped. Not sure what question goes with this, but how does this impact the value of cryptocurrency?
Well, again, I think it's just a testing ground for what comes next. So if you really know how to execute some trades and how to analyze this like a stock picker, and if you have a crystal ball and you know which ones are going to win, then definitely start trading. If not, I would just wait for some more information from the government to come out, because this stuff is really coming into focus right now. Okay,
very good. So you talked a little bit about the future already. What do you think the future of Bitcoin mining is the future of Bitcoin mining from flared gas? What state heads this operation?
So I think that Bitcoin mining is super expensive, and I don't know, given some of the instabilities in the crypto markets right now and the direction that we're going, if it's really worth it. From the people that I talk to, it's not worth it anymore to have these crypto mining rigs. It might have made sense if they're mining and the price was like 50,000 or 60,000 per Bitcoin. I just think it's really hard to tell right now.
Okay, very good. Nellie had another question here. Would you say having a hard wallet makes the transaction a little bit cleaner?
So having a hard wallet for your crypto, here's where this came from. Some people, even years ago, they took their crypto once they purchased it on an exchange and they put it into a hard wallet, which is not stored on somebody else's server or out in the ether, and they pulled it into like a hard wallet, either on a computer or a removable drive, and put it in a safe, for example, someplace. And this came back into focus in the last like 4 weeks, because crypto declined so much and it hit 30,000, and we thought that was bad. Today is even like way more destructive. But when it hit 30,000, people were saying that if Coinbase folded, and that's where a lot of people keep their crypto, or any of these crypto exchanges, and this goes back to the idea of stablecoin. Think about this, like when you have a bank account, each bank account is guaranteed by the federal government reserve of, $250,000 per account per depositor at each financial institution. Well, your money in a crypto wallet on Coinbase is not insured in the same way. So in the terms and conditions of Coinbase, it said that if Coinbase declared bankruptcy, it could take all of your crypto and all your wallets that's stored on Coinbase and take it for the liquidation of Chapter 11. This is a lot like Argentina, right? Argentina just will say, well, the currency's sliding, we're going to clear everyone's bank accounts and start over at zero. Very much the same fashion. So this is when people started looking at having hard wallets so that they could take it off of any exchange, off of any digital service, and just be able to maintain it themselves. So there's been talk that Coinbase will not actually go into this liquidation phase. That was in the news, I think, last week, that they announced that they would never touch consumer wallets. So it's just a matter of who you trust, who you believe, how safe you'd like to be, and how technologically savvy you are to pull that off. Also, I heard that getting one of these digital wallets can take some days because they're so back ordered at this point. So it might take you a few days to be able to remove that. So just know that if that's the direction you want to go, it's going to maybe take a little bit of time to get that over into your hard cold storage wallet.
Okay. Moving back to some of the questions I have for you here. Do you find that more real estate consumers are looking for an agent that's well versed in digital currency transactions?
I was working with a buyer earlier this year, and she literally asked me, because she, like, the home buying process, she was like, it was so competitive, taking so long. And she was like, will blockchain help me buy a house faster? And I was like, whoa, like, what advertisement came up on your news feed? So definitely our consumers are starting to see this, and they're going to start asking these questions. And so many American consumers now have some kind of investment in a crypto or digital currency, and they're going to wonder, what can they buy with these assets? There's an increasing number of people who are getting paid in cryptocurrency now. So those people are going to have to go use that money to buy homes eventually. So absolutely, this is a trend that's not going backward, it's only going forward. So consumers are going to continue to get more comfortable with digital currency and are going to look for agents who understand the rules about crypto.
Okay, very good. Going back to one of the early questions we had here from Dan, he said, besides the coin, how can we use the blockchain technology in real estate in the future?
Love your question. Maybe we should show a slide or two here, because I
Sure.
feel like this is where blockchain stops being so esoteric and actually, like, the rubber hits the road. Let's see. So am I driving this, or are you, Christina?
You are.
I am. Oh, goodness. Okay, let me go here. So this is the evolution of NFTs. Can you guys see my screen?
We can.
I've got a video game here, and then it went to art, and then this is now our NFT. So we have put everything to underwrite an asset. This is our marketplace, our NFT marketplace here, of the digital representation of houses. We're not selling the house through an NFT, because the house, there's no county. Let's be really clear. There is no county in the United States that's on blockchain. None. So when people say they're recording title to blockchain, which blockchain are we talking about? Which title company? There are no title companies that are like 100% on blockchain throughout the whole United States. So this is what we're looking at. We're looking at taking all that data and making a Carfax for house. This protocol is live right now, and I am going to skip forward. So this is what it looks like. This is a new GSE, FANNIE, FREDDIE guided. They're guiding us on the protocol. So we're taking this information. This is the FANNIE, FREDDIE 3D, the floor plan. It's done through a 3D walkthrough of the house with the phone. And we're putting that onto blockchain. We're putting the title report. We make sure that all this is done ahead of time, and then putting this on blockchain so that we can move the house faster through the system. So we've been pre-approving our clients for years, right, on getting them through underwriting ahead of the transaction. Now what we're doing is we're pushing the house through underwriting before the listing goes live. So this is the process that FANNIE and FREDDIE have been looking to do for years now, and we're pushing this through to get agents to start doing this. This is all live. This is not wireframe. So this exists today. You can mint your practitioner NFT here as well, because we saved a space for the practitioner. And this is where the practitioner's information goes in all of the property tokens that are getting minted.
Can you just really quick, because we did have what is an NFT, can you just explain that really quick?
Yeah, totally. So an NFT is a non-fungible token. So in blockchain, there are tokens that are identical twins of each other, which is called a Bitcoin, for example. A Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and blockchain are separate. Let's just go through that. Blockchain is an underlying technology. Cryptocurrency is built on top of blockchain. Blockchain does not need cryptocurrency. So Consortia, for example, is just the sheer implementation of blockchain, Consortia is not a cryptocurrency. We made that differentiation years ago because I knew all this stuff was going to crash eventually. So that was a really hard business decision to like tell the world, but we did it. So Bitcoin, for example, is a carbon copy. Each coin is a carbon copy of the other one. Now, the difference in non-fungible tokens is every token is unique. So for example, in video gaming, this token is one of 200, for example, as you can see in that number there, but every single one is a little bit different. Bored Ape Monkey, these are all different. They have different edition numbers. So each one is different. This is art, as they call it. And just like art is different and unique, each house, as we know from doing hundreds of transactions, right? Like their no two deals are the same because no two houses are the same. So each house is its own unique non-fungible token. Each data package about each house is a non-fungible token because that data, remember, it's a spreadsheet, it's a ledger entry. So when something happens on the house, this title report, we're putting it on, the report, right, is going on to blockchain. That's a unique NFT. This floor plan is an NFT, a non-fungible token. So we say that this floor plan was done on today, June 13th. It was entered into the blockchain. That's how we're using non-fungible tokens to move real estate faster.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay. Was there anything else that you wanted to show there? I wanted to make sure. I know we have a few other slides, and we have a lot of people asking about how they can get more education from you, which we'll share with them towards the end as well. Okay. Yeah. And they actually also asked if your slides, if you could share your slides with us. So you can just let me know, and then we can share a link afterwards.
Yeah, totally. So we're actually going to be shooting this as a video, and all these slides and telling the story about. So yes, this will be available. I think my team is putting this through on the training, and that's where it's going to be posted.
Okay, very good. We had a question that just came in from Michelle. Can one house NFT be exchanged for another?
For another house, would you house swap that way? No, I'm just hard and fast. Like, I mean, are we trading so a house is not a non-fungible token. What you saw there is those are data files. My house these are walls, right? This is not a data file. So if you want to show real ownership and you care about that, right, then you're going to go through the process of escrow. You're going to go through a title company. And also, oh, by the way, which I'm assuming everyone on this call is a realtor. Yes, we're all realtors. If you sign a listing agreement, Clear Cooperation says that we are pushing all of those listings through the MLS. We are not selling houses as NFTs. Because an NFT, you can't make a house an NFT as a house is a house. If you're going to put your house through a fractionalization process, then you're taking the house, you're moving ownership into an LLC structure. You can fractionalize that ownership using blockchain technology, and then you can sell shares of your house. Guess what, guys? That's called a security. So now it's not just NFTs that we're selling. And then we go through this in training big time because this is now SEC regulated activity. You have to have a license to do this kind of stuff, an SEC, a FINRA license. This is not real estate brokerage license. So in that effort to keep all of my friends out of orange jumpsuits, we go into this into great detail. So if you want to actually say that you have legal ownership to something, you are going to go to the title, you're going to go to the county recorder's office, and you're going to say, I own this piece of property. I would never, ever advise a client otherwise. Okay. And yes, even with blockchain, you still need title insurance, more so now than ever, because everyone's saying they're recording to blockchain. What does that mean? What does that actually mean? That's where I beg this question. So if you're going to file a title claim on a spreadsheet, is the spreadsheet going to give you insurance money? It is not, because it's a spreadsheet. It's like getting blood from a rock or blood from a turnip. That just doesn't, it's an implausibility. And I think there's way too much hype and way too much noise out there about what blockchain is. So are we swapping houses with NFTs? We are not. That's not how we practice real estate.
Okay. And I think that answers the question that Dan had as a follow-up to that, which is what were your thoughts on the house sold as an NFT in Florida a few months ago?
I really don't know the
Okay.
details about that transaction. I know members on my team have looked into it, so I can't speak to that. I do think I read an article. The person who sold it said they paid a lot in fees. So please dig down into that.
Okay.
Because there were, and the person who wrote the article or who was interviewed, who sold the house, said, I don't even know that it was worth it. That's pretty much a direct quote from the article. I don't know the technicalities of how it actually happened, but like it begged the question of there were so many attorneys that had to look over this process that was it even worth it? So,
okay. So another question here from Michelle. Just, I think, trying to simplify it. And actually, Becky said, there's so much to this, and there is. And that's why Teresa does offer a lot of training on this that she'll tell us about in just a minute. But Michelle said, so the same process occurs in the sale of a house with crypto as with the dollar?
So yes, we have. So if we're following the way real estate transacts, right, there are extra nuances in this process, and we detail out every step. We have checklists, right, that go through, this is what you have to do. There are more steps in this because, one, because it's new. Two, because we have to get everyone comfortable. Just like on this call, the fact that we've been having this conversation, now we have to do this with everybody in the transaction. We have to make sure everybody knows every step. So the overall process is the same, right? We write an offer, we go into escrow, we close, we settle. That's the same, but there are more nuanced steps because we have to figure out how we're using cryptocurrency. Is it crypto as a down payment? Is it a crypto mortgage? Or is it a crypto to crypto transaction? Or is it 100% crypto transaction into fiat? So we have to define what we are doing. I think there's this like huge blanket, right, that goes over it, like huge umbrella, and we're like, it's all crypto. Well, how do we use it? And then how do we write that into the contract? And what steps and what triggers have to happen in the escrow process? Does everybody know what they're doing? Are we following all the deadlines? Are we following RESPA, good funds laws, AML, KYC? Like some serious stuff and checklists have to happen in this process.
Okay.
So overall the same. The longer answer, very different.
So, but it also sounds like, and in the end, once more people are educated on this in all realms of the transaction, not just the realtor, but in all pieces of the transaction, it sounds like the process will eventually be much simpler for the consumer.
That's the goal, right? That's the only reason that I wake up and do this every morning, because God knows I never woke up and was like, oh, I'm going to be the CEO of a tech company. Like, no, thank you, hard pause. I actually wouldn't work on this company for 2 years. I tried to give it to NAR, and NAR was like, no, you have to run it. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Good talk. So the only thing that keeps me motivated is to think, how do we make the customer experience better, right? So by having these digital appraisals, having everything go into blockchain, everything is sanitized. We're removing racial bias from this. We're providing fair housing. We are making the costs more affordable, right? The transaction costs in real estate. We're getting things done faster in the underwriting process. And what's critical there, because I'm a capital markets kind of girl, is in environments with rising interest rates, locking in a loan is expensive. It's expensive to the lender. They're hedging, right? I literally closed a deal last week where UWM, the largest wholesale lender in the country, and I know the CEO, he's like the 46th richest man in the country. Awesome. His company did not want to send that wire. They were trying everything they could. And I was like, why are they being, like really naughty about this? What is going on? Well, I priced a loan. We went into contract on Friday. I'm still a practitioner. Went into contract Friday. The rate went from 6.875 to 8.5. That's why. It's expensive. The lenders are dying right now. All the ones that went public in the last few years are really eating it with their stock price. So we've got to lock in the loan from the lender's point of view. And guess what? If that escrow period goes longer, who pays for that? The consumer does. And if interest rates go up, the ability to get into a house, when borrowers are barely qualifying at 43% debt to income ratio per month, right? Think about the actual sales and getting humans in houses. And it's super passionate. I've got goosebumps. Like, if the point of our jobs is to get humans into houses in an environment with rising interest rates, every second counts in the deal. I just blew up an agent just now. I was like, dude, you got to get me that settlement statement before the Fed just told us they're raising rates again, either today, tomorrow, by the end of the month, right? So the point is to get that asset underwritten 100% before you put it on the market, because our consumers are tapped out right now. Prices just went up 21% year over year, and then lending costs are going up with it. So if we want to do our jobs really well, we're going to use blockchain as a technology to see them through and give them a better experience.
Okay, very good. So the question that a lot of people have been asking is, where can they learn more about this? So tell us, Teresa, where can realtors learn more about all of this? Because as somebody said, this conversation could spin off in so many different directions because there's so much to it.
Totally. And I've had this up on the screen. So if you scan this QR code, so if you just take your phone and you turn on the camera and you scan the QR code, it'll take you to RE Consortia. And right now the training is half off. So normal street value to come in and take the training is going to be $199. If you're not affiliated with a brokerage or an organization that partners with Consortia. So it launches on June 15th. The price will be $199. If you get it before June 15th, it's going to be $99 and you'll get first access to it. We shot over 4.5 hours of like professional quality interview grade filming. And then we made all of these updated training videos on actual processes of like what people were asking, like how to buy a home with Bitcoin, or these micro levels of the transaction, right? These smaller bits. So it's now over 5 hours of training. And I got feedback. We had like a handful of beta, like alpha people in the industry beta test it. And one person said it was literally the best training she'd ever seen in real estate. So I hope that it's useful to you guys. I hope that you're able to go sell more houses. I hope your consumers love you more, that they're more loyal to you. That's why I exist, is to do this. So please sign up if you're interested. I do. You know, as soon as FedCoin is announced, 100% of all of our transactions are on blockchain. And that's going to happen within 12 to 24 months. So I want everyone here on this call to future-proof your business and to be ready for these really big changes that are coming.
Well, thank you so much for that. I know a few people were able to scan that QR code. Some said, put it back up on the screen, but we actually shared a link in the comments for everybody. So you guys can go look at the latest comment from HAR and click that link right there. That will take you to the information. So Teresa, again, this has been wonderful. Janie said, such a new and interesting subject. More please. So, and I completely agree with her. We'd love to have you on again in the future when there's updates, when there's new information, anything like that. We'd love to hear from you again in the future.
I'm so grateful. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to be here with you. Thank you for sharing this together. Thank you, Christina, for having me. Thank you, HAR.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Again, this, I know there were a few people that said I joined late. You can watch the replay as soon as this live video is over. You can watch the replay from the beginning, hear all the definitions all over again. And then, of course, please check out the training that Teresa mentioned. We did share that link in the comments for everyone. Teresa, again, this was wonderful. Is there any last final thoughts that you have for our members today?
So some people come to me and they go, oh my God, I'm so late to this space. You're not, because we're here now. This is a we conversation. This isn't just a me telling you, this is we. So I really want feedback. I want to know how this is going for you, what you think of the training, what you're seeing in the marketplace. That's the only thing that gets me out of bed in the morning, is creating this with and for the industry. So you're right on time if you're watching this webinar, if you're watching this live feed. So I commend you for investing in yourself. I think it's huge, and I'm super excited for you.
Well, thank you again. So that is it for this Member Focus Monday. Next Monday, we are going to be welcoming Jeff Lindner. Most of you are probably familiar with him. He's with the Harris County Flood Control District. As we know, we are gearing up to flood season. So we're going to be discussing weather and all things flood with Jeff next week. So be sure to tune in for that Member Focus Monday. Again, that is it for this week. We'll see you next Monday at 9 a.m. Have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.